wheel is bugged. What do I do? Help, something's not right with it. And I've seen this comment a few months, and I can understand why. The Felis, it's a big, complicated aircraft. There's a big, thick manual to go through, and when people first buy it, they don't want to read hundreds and hundreds of pages before they get on with it and all the various notes. They just want to get on with it, but then they stumble into this problem. The Discord server is also full of people asking for help on this, and understandably the regulars on that server get a little, I don't want to sound rude, but like, imagine you're part of this group and all day every day you get new people that just come to say, help, how do I do this? And they ask the same question over and over and over again. And you know what? I can understand why. It's a big complicated thing. People just want to get on with it, and so let's get on with it. And so coming over into XPlane 12, this is kind of where it's going to take place, but the last thing that you're going to want to do is be in the aircraft in question. And so yeah, there's the Felis 747, and as you'll know, this one is not bugged. I don't have a problem with cockpit lighting or the trim wheel or whatever else. So how do you get from what you've got to what I've got? And I'm assuming you're watching this video because you've got this problem. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, if you haven't already, is come out of XPlane altogether. Now, I'm not going to come out of it just so I don't have to completely reload it again, but it's important that you do if you haven't already got this. And so I'm just going to tab out real quick, and we're going to come over to the internet page here. So that's all that I'm going to do. So if I share my left screen real briefly, load up your internet, and what you're going to want to do is do a search, and it's a one-word search term. It's kind of a weird name. It's called SkunkCraft. And now it sounds bizarre, but trust me when I say this, you're going to want to need this. And especially if you're new to XPlane 12 or you're interested in getting other aircraft, like this tool is absolutely essential. And what it basically does is it runs in the background in XPlane, and it lets you update the aircraft within that. So I'm going to click into the search bar and just real quick type in SkunkCraft, and there you see the SkunkCrafts updater. That's the one that you're going to want to click on, so make sure you follow that through. The first link, forums.xplane.org, that's the one that you want, so click on there. And if you haven't already got an account, in order to be allowed, or if that's the right word, in order to be able to download this, you're going to have to create an account here with xplane.org. Now, don't be afraid of this. Number one, it doesn't cost you any money to do. And number two, if you are going to be using XPlane in any way more than like just 2 or 3 times, you're going to want to be a member here anyway, because this is what lets you have access to all the tools and utilities. And again, the vast majority of them are free. So make sure that you get this. Now, I've already got this installed, so I'm not going to, sign in and download it again. But suffice to say, create your account if you've not already, and then follow this link here to get the latest build. Once you have downloaded that, let me just see real quick if I can actually just, without sharing in my user details with the entire world, just quickly get that. So I'm just going to show you my XPlane screen while I secretly do this in the background, hitting the download, and there we go. All right then, so with that done, I'll share my screen again and come over to my downloads folder, and you're going to end up with this thing here, the SkunkCrafts updater. Notice it's in a zip file. Well, if you're using any operating system that's newer than the Stone Age, you no longer need to get a separate WinZip. What you're going to do is double click on the zip folder, and you're going to be presented with another folder that is inside the zip known as the SkunkCraft updater. What you want to do is select that, left click it once, and then right click it once, and then click copy, and that's going to copy what is inside that zip into your copy paste thing. The clipboard is the word I'm looking for. Then go over to wherever you've got XPlane installed. Now I happen to have put it on my C drive despite having numerous drives, as you can see, and come over to XPlane 12. That's where I've got it. Once you're inside XPlane 12, you want to go into your resources folder, and then within there, you want to go to your plugins. Now, don't worry, you've only got to do this one time. It sounds a bit laborious, but once you've done it, you've done it. Now, when you're in here, you're likely not going to see anything like as many folders if you're new to doing this. Don't worry about that. Just be inside wherever XPlane 12, resource plugins, find a blank space here, right click, and then choose paste. And that's going to drop that SkunkCraft folder in. Now, I don't need to do it because if you've got eagle eyes, you'll have already seen mine's already there. And so once you're done, that's what you want to see. Now that you've done that, you want to start XPlane up, a fresh instance. Now, clearly, I don't need to do it because mine's already there. But if you have just followed these instructions, load up XPlane. So I'm going to save ourselves a little bit of time because mine's already loaded. And now the last thing that you're going to want to do is, like I say, is load up the 747. You want to load up, in my opinion, the best way to do it is load up a real simpleton kind of an aircraft. And so I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to come over to flight configuration. I'm going to scroll down to something crappy and simple like this one here, and then click start new flight. You may just want to go straight there from the main menu. It doesn't matter. And while we wait, there we go, while we wait for that to drop in. Now, if we come outside, there's our crappy little, completely unrelated to the 747 aircraft. That's the main important thing. And now what you're going to do, with that done, come over to your main menu. You've got your plugins menu here. And if you drop down, oh, what's this? We've got the SkunkCrafts updater. Now, you won't have seen that before until you've dropped that SkunkCraft update in, what we did in the first stages into your plugins resources folder. And so you're going to want to run this. Now, mine already knows that I've got the 7.4 as well as 2 or 3 others that are SkunkCraft compatible. You likely won't see that the very first time you run this. So in order to fix that, when you now run this, you're going to click rescan local configurations. You're going to click it once. Now, it may seem like your flight simulator locks up or that your computer locks up or pauses. Don't get impatient and try click again, because then you will cause things to go wrong and lock up. Just click it once. Wait however long. The more aircraft you've got may take a little longer, and you'll see this list populate. And again, I've got 2 or 3 others here that are SkunkCraft compatible. Once you see it says ready and it doesn't feel like your simulator's locked and you'll be able to move around again, you're going to come down to the 7.4 Classic. So this is Felis's aircraft. So you're going to click on that one time, and that's going to come within his little menu here. I say his, it's the SkunkCraft menu. But what you want to do is make sure that these 2 things here are checked, because I always want the latest version. And so make sure both of these here options are on, and this is going to give you access to the latest version, in this case version 1.2.0.7. Then what you're going to want to do is say check for updates or repairs. So we're going to click that one time, and again we get that pause, the sound disappears. Oh no, the computer's crashed. Don't worry about it, just wait, wait, and there we go. And what we have here is, this is not an update, by the way. It just says 3.66. The only reason there's a slight discrepancy between my version and the version that you download is because when you download the version, you need to reinsert your security code, the customer purchase code thing. What on earth is it called? The key code. And so every time you update the aircraft, it will ask you to enter that code in again. And I believe that is why there's a discrepancy. If, however, when you press this, what almost for sure you'll see if you've not done this before is you'll get a much bigger sort of a thing, and it'll say, I don't know, 3 megabytes or 50 megabytes, whatever it is. And instead of it being blue, it'll be in green. And then what you're going to want to press then, assuming that is what is needed to do, is update or repair add-on. And then again, the sim is going to seem like it locks up, it pauses up, and down here where it says ready, you'll start and see it flickering as it's downloading relevant files. Thankfully, it doesn't download the entire thing all over from scratch. It just downloads the few files that are needed that have been changed. So it's not going to download the same sound file over and over again that you've already got that hasn't changed. but let's say one of the instrument lighting effects has been improved or whatever it is, it'll download that specific lighting file. And so expect to see that. Once that has said it's done or it's complete or whatever, you can come out of this, then you can jump over flight configuration. You can grab your Felis here, pick whichever one you want. I'm liking the Pan Am at the minute. Click start new flight, and of course it's going to load up. Only problem is when it loads up, as we've said, it's going to ask you once again, there's some sort of problem. It'll say, I don't know, data ref, something or other is missing. That's normal, and it's only going to say that one time until it'll ask you again for your key code. So the easiest way to put the key code in is either to go over to wherever you bought it from, the XPlane store, or and just copy your key code. I like to copy it from there, just save it on a notepad file on your hard drive, just because Felis updates this aircraft quite a lot, and every time you update it, he will ask for the code again. I must have updated it at least 10 times in the last, I'm wanting to say, 10 months, and so and he's probably updating it more often than that. Taking a little bit of time there because it's a slightly more complex aircraft to load. Come on, prepare your world. Now I'm aware it's not going to give me this error message now because I haven't just updated it, but let's assume it did give me this error message, and you're going to see something in the top right that says data ref whatever. You'll have maybe another one in the middle, and it's going to ask you for that key code as if you're just running it for the first time. Paste your code in from wherever you copied it from, whether it was from a text file on your computer or whether you logged into the XPlane store, and paste it in from there. And then once that has been accepted, you'll see it progresses along. It says all of that's good. You're going to want to come up to your aircraft, your developer menu here, and click reload the current aircraft and art. Click that. That'll then reload the aircraft again, but now with your key code in. And once that's done, you'll be away and ready to go. I would just suggest one minor thing, and that is if you have made quite a few changes and updates, sometimes it's better to completely restart your computer just to clear everything out. Even on my high-end machine, I've found that if I've been tinkering around too much, I can even tank 10 frames until I completely reset everything. It just depends how long the computer's been on, how many other things I've been doing, how many XPlane updates there have been, so on and so forth. And I hope you found that one useful, and that will give you a fully updated 747, and with it all the bug changes, all the bug fixes will be in there. And please, if you do find this video useful, ensure that you leave a like so that other people who have got similar problem will be able to find this video as well and be able to get their aircraft up to date. And, you know, and I've said it a million times, and at risk of boring everyone and saying it 1,000,001 times, fantastic aircraft. I really, really like it. And that is why I feel like, you know, and I'm not taking any credit in any way, shape or form. I just feel like I'm doing my little bit here to support Felis and support the people who are buying this aircraft, and, you know, just to take a little bit of pressure off. You know, the same people asking, well, I say the same people, it's different, isn't it? So new people over and over and over again asking the same question over, and, you know, again, at risk of frustrating some people who've seen that one question like 500 times and who just want to answer back, you know, in all caps, read the effing manual. And it's like, yeah, but it's a really thick manual, and you've got to forgive people for not wanting to read hundreds of pages before they get started. Now, granted, it's probably somewhere near the top, but, you know, you see a manual, it's hundreds of pages long. If you're anything like me, you think, sod this, I just want to get started. And so, speaking of getting started, make sure that you check out a couple of my other tutorial videos to do with the Felis 747-2. It's a beautiful aircraft to fly. It's certainly a handful, but that's what makes it enjoyable. And until next time, guys, wherever in the world you may be, from me here in the UK, take care. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. See ya. Bye-bye.